How do you tell if it's time to abandon ship or keep going in your business, in your goals, in anything that you pursue? That's what I'm going to answer in today's video. And make sure to subscribe and smash the like button so you don't miss any new videos.
Hi, I'm Dan Henry. I used to deliver pizza and sell water bottles to pay my rent. Then I discovered entrepreneurship and grew a $20 million online business. Subscribe to my channel and I'll show you how.
Hey everybody, so today's question comes from Ministry of Attraction. It is how to tell if it's time to abandon ship or keep going. This question, it's a good question because I've personally felt this way many times in my life. Like, do I continue pursuing this goal or do I abandon ship? So keep in mind that if you are thinking of abandoning ship, if that's even creeping in, there's a few questions you have to ask yourself. Number one, is your goal genuine? Meaning, do you really want it? Because if you don't really want it, then the feelings of abandoning ship basically say, or could indicate, that you weren't really there because you had a passion for it. You were there because it got you something. Money, fame, recognition. You know, like if you want to be a famous speaker because you want people to go, oh, Dan, you're amazing, and that's it, well, you're never probably going to be a successful speaker, or you're going to be a crappy one. But if you love speaking, if you love it so much that you spend hours studying amazing speakers and delving into their mannerisms and the way that they move their eyes and lips and move across the stage, and you're just absolutely fascinated with body language and oration and how to captivate an audience, and you love the process, and you want to be a famous speaker, and even if you want the whatever, that is a passion. That is a passion for something. Too often do people get into things that they think sound good, but they don't actually have a passion for. You know what I mean? Because all they care about is the goal, and they don't care about whether or not they love the process. So that's number one, is if you're thinking about abandoning ship, ask yourself, is this truly genuine? Is this something that I care about? Is this something that I want to do? Or is it something I'm just doing to make money or just doing to get some sort of recognition? Because if it is, well, that ship was going to sink anyway. The second thing is, when you say how to tell if it's time to abandon ship or keep going, what does going mean? You know what I mean? Like, what does going mean? Are you giving it the time and attention it deserves? Are you actually giving the effort? You know, I've had conversations with clients sometimes, and they'll say,
well, Dan, I'm really trying to get better at storytelling because I know that storytelling is great for persuasion. I know it's great for speaking. I know it's great for sales. And I really want to get better at storytelling, but I'm not good at it.
Well, the first question I ask is, okay, well, how many books do you read?
Not a lot.
How many movies do you watch?
Not a lot.
How many documentaries on movies and books do you watch?
Not a lot.
Do you really want to get better at storytelling? Like, think about that. What guitar player doesn't listen to rock music or jazz or blues, right? What singer doesn't listen to great singers? What piano player doesn't listen to great piano players? What baseball player doesn't watch baseball? What MMA fighter doesn't watch UFC? It's very hard to become good at something and produce it if you're not a consumer of it. So if you want to be great at storytelling or anything and you're not consuming it, how are you going to be good at it? I would question, do you really want to be good at it? Because people who tell great stories love great stories. People that are great at sales love great sales processes and love to be pitched. I've never met anyone that it was an amazing salesperson that didn't love to be pitched. And that's the thing, is people,
well, Dan, I want to get better at sales.
well, do you like to be sold to?
No, I hate it.
Well, you ain't never going to be good at sales. You can't be good at something that you hate. That's saying, like,
well, I would really love to be good at martial arts and at jiu-jitsu.
well, do you watch EBI? Do you watch UFC? Do you study Gordon Ryan or Craig Jones?
No.
Well, then you must not love jiu-jitsu that much. I've never met somebody that loved jiu-jitsu who didn't do that stuff. You know, I mean, come on. So that's the thing, is when people say to themselves, should I abandon ship? It's like, well, do you even like the ship? Because if you did, why would you be abandoning it? My suggestion would be figure out a different way to steer it. Keep the ship, but figure out a different way to steer it. Figure out a different course through the waters. Figure out a different navigational pattern. Figure out a different way to use the ship, but still love the ship. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. When I got started, one of the things that I wanted throughout life was I wanted to be like a famous rock star. So when I was younger, you know, I thought to myself, I want to be a famous musician. I want to be a rock star, right? And what I found, you know, was that I never paid attention to what being a rock star meant. And I've met some rock stars. I've been fortunate enough to be able to meet some people who made a career out of music. And, you know, I thought I wanted to be a rock star, and I thought I wanted to be a musician because, you know, I liked playing guitar, I liked writing songs, and I liked doing that, and I liked getting on stage and producing something that people appreciated. It wasn't that I liked being admired on stage, it was that I wanted my work to be admired. I wanted to produce something that brought people enjoyment, that brought people entertainment, that brought people something that made them feel good.
I feel good. I feel good.
As I progressed in my music career and as I met musicians, I learned that the lifestyle that a touring musician had was something I did not want to do. I didn't want to be on the road all the time. I'm big into my health and my food and my working out and my personal time and reading books. These guys are on the road, they're traveling, they're doing a different show every night. You know, they're in a position where they can't see their kids for months. A lot of times there's drugs. I'm not against certain drugs. I'm not against drugs for healing, like marijuana or psychedelics, but you'll never find me doing like cocaine or anything like that. I don't like party drugs. I like drugs that are helpful for healing purposes. You know, and the drinking and the partying, and that all sounds fun, but I can, you know, if I have a home that I live in regularly, I can go out and do that if I want to do that, not have it consume me as a part of my daily life, which happens when you're a touring musician. Eventually I was fighting that, and I came to a very profound realization, was that what I wanted deeply was not to be a rock star. I wanted to create something that brought people joy. And so I reevaluated my priorities, and I said to myself, okay, you don't love the process of being a famous musician. You just want to create something that brings people joy. And so when I realized that what process I do enjoy is I love writing. I love explaining things. I love learning things and then not mastering them, but optimizing them and then teaching other people how to do those things with insight that I learned from poking around in there. And I love education. I love teaching. I love shifting people's perspectives. I love showing people how to think in ways that they didn't ever really consider, including myself. I love questioning myself. I love, you know, constantly challenging my beliefs. I love that. And so that's the process that I love. And so I figured out how to take that, as well as my want and my desire to create things that bring people joy, and I turned it into the business that I have now. I turned it into a book. I turned it into a consulting business where I teach people how to grow businesses, and I've been instrumental in and helped people on their way to create $1 million companies, thousands of six-figure incomes, even helped a few people, even in a small way, get to 8 figures, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and just help turn around a lot of lives because I turned my life around and I wanted to share that with them. And the new project I'm working on, 𝐻owtothink.com, you know, helping people learn how to process information in their head and think about things differently and succeed in life. PlanTomorrow.com, my planner, shows people how to be more productive with the planner that I came out with, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, these are things that I allowed myself to fall in love with the process, use that process to create things that bring people joy. It's the same thing. It just doesn't happen to be a song. It's information. It's business advice. It's life advice. And so to me, I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm just steering the ship on a different course. And that's what I suggest that you do. I suggest if you're considering abandoned ship, figure out if it's even the ship you want to be on, and if it is, simply consider how you can steer that ship differently to achieve what you want to achieve, to have the fulfillment you want to have. Because if you fall in love with the process, you will never feel like abandoning ship, because you won't be so focused on the goal you'll be focused on the process and how much you love the process. And that's where you just blow past any goal you could ever dream of. I hope you enjoyed this video and videos like this. I know I'm doing some new ones recently. Ask me a question in the comments and I'll be happy to answer it if it's a good one and make a video out of it, all that jazz. So hit subscribe, smash the like button. See you in the next video.